You can.
Come to order.
All right, we have someone.
Meeting is in order.
Is somebody going to call the meeting to order?
I will. Come to order. Say, hey,
You got a gavel.
Do we need this or a gavel?
Okay.
All right, it's 11:19 on September 5th, the day we call, or otherwise known as the day after Olga's birthday. A couple days after Tommy's birthday, and a couple days before Austin's birthday. So that's what today is. So who else has got a birthday in September? September what?
23.
23. All right. And what is your title? We're giving him grief. We have someone we're giving grief to because. Do we want to start off with this? Yes, I think so. Started coming to our meetings, introduced himself, interested in politics, South Carolina. And lo and behold, he's a chairman out of New York State. Congratulations. We are glad you are here.
Happy to be here.
Yes. I think the microphone will pick up. I think you probably introduced before.
I did.
Okay. You want to introduce yourself again and let everybody know how we have now got not one chairman, plus Yvonne is a former chairman, plus Jerry's a former chairman, and we got a fourth former chairman. So we now have everybody doing jobs.
Right. So I'm a lifelong New Yorker. My family decided we wanted to get out of New York. We ended up in Greenville after looking around, and we're excited to be here. And I'm happy to help. I'm sure we'll find a job for me as we move forward. So,
Not just one job.
yeah.
We got lots of jobs. So, okay. Well, welcome. Glad you're here.
Thank you.
So we got the friend request. I started looking on his page on Facebook. I'm like, wait a second. How is he issuing press releases as chairman of a county up in New York? But they do their reorg in September. So transition. Interestingly enough, to change chairmen up there, just your county or all counties in New York?
All counties.
All counties. They actually have to recall a convention, which I find very interesting. That would be a real headache here in South Carolina, or if we lose a chairman or a state EC or something like that at the county level, you can actually just reelect or the EC for the county will elect the new chairman. Same thing with the on the state level too. We just lost our national committeeman. He passed away a month or so ago, and we at the state executive committee, the 50 voting members there, elected a new national committeeman for the remaining 3.5 years of that term. So,
And we can't fill the state EC slots until the next full state committee meeting.
Whoa.
oh, for the Nate. Oh, really?
Right.
Okay.
To fill vacancies, because the EC can't do it. We got to bring the full state EC has to come together.
The state EC elects the new EC from your county?
Yeah, to fill a vacancy.
Oh, really?
We nominate them, but
Right.
they have to. Yeah.
It's very, it's funny. It's like we have problems, and there's actually that issue going on right now here in the state about reorg and what's going on with Pickens, and we can talk about it here in a little bit. But the next quarterly state executive committee meeting is this Saturday down in Columbia, and they will be addressing the Pickens issue because Pickens County was not seated at the state convention we had back in May. Big controversy, whole discussion. It's the battle between rhinos and the America First people, and they're essentially making up rules and changing rules, and they're picking on Pickens, perhaps because all of Pickens delegates would have voted against Drew McKissick. I don't think it was a number issue, but also if everybody remembers, Lindsey Graham was booed in Pickens, the city of Pickens, in 23 at Trump's rally. And Lindsey Graham is from Pickens County. So some people have the theory that that's got a little bit of retribution there. And Chad Conley and Drew McKissick are probably more than happy to issue that retribution if Lindsey Graham told them to do it. So that meeting will be tomorrow. There's been a lot of research and discussion about it. I will tell you at the last quarterly meeting, they kind of punted, the state EC punted the situation. Oh, we're going to set up a committee to investigate it and come back and advise us and tell us. I actually spoke with the elected state executive committee person earlier this week, in regular contact about this and a whole bunch of other things. And, the question came up. First, she mentioned it, and then I went back separately and verified it. But I'm like, has the committee called you guys in Pickens to even ask about any details? And who wants to guess whether the committee to investigate what happened in Pickens, that they were refused to be seated at the state convention. Do you think that committee even called the people in Pickens to talk to them about it? No. I mean, it is absolutely incredible. And if you look at the list of the people that are on that committee, one of the other folks that we know that's been involved in politics for a long time, their first comment was, well, there's your hit list right there of everybody to oppose. And it's because it was certainly people that were picked by Drew McKissick and Chad Conley, and I think Chad Conley might actually be on the committee. And it's like, those are the people that, don't want to know the truth. And that's why they're not calling to even talk to Pickens to ask them the truth. So it'll be interesting what that vote is tomorrow, what the committee report will be, whether they make them Pickens redo their county convention or just the entire reorg process, all that type of stuff. But to watch how they discuss the alleged rule violations, when I don't think there are any rule violations any more than anything de minimis. Nobody was trying to keep people out or anything of that nature. But that's what they accuse us of. So it's a lot of projection, and when we've actually had actual rules violations, actual cheating, actual hammering down of the establishment's desires, we've actually seen that, and they don't blink an eye at that. So I will tell you also, I missed being on the call about this on Wednesday. But this type of stuff is going on all over the country. We've dealt with it here in South Carolina. Everything since beginning of 2021, when we got involved in reorg, the fraud and everything they cheated in reorg of 21 with Greenville County, what they did with Horry County, what they did with Oconee County, what they did with Lexington, what they've done with Pickens, what they've done with Charleston, what they did with the 1st Congressional District, what they did to the 4th Congressional District. You can just go down the whole list. Yeah, it's all the America First counties are where we having victories. They've actually come in, to kind of take over, take control, and do those types of things. We've been very fortunate, or maybe just through hard work and sheer determination here in Greenville, not to have been taken out, even when the state party takes over our reorg and did that in 2023. And, I think we just work harder than everybody else, other than certainly the rhinos in that. And we've been able to survive and kind of, avoid these issues and problems. But, I will tell you, I mean, we know it, and Keith Blanford put out some stuff some other people put out some stuff the other day that talked about some of the other states. But these people that contacted me were out of Illinois. There was a county in Illinois literally this past week that was taken over, that their America First people were elected in 2024. Well, somehow the establishment got in there and played some rules games and all that kind of stuff, and took back the leadership role this year. It's just it's a similar thing. It is literally going on all over the country. Now, my theory, and what I've always talked to people about, not to belabor this point, is you can't just cry in your cereal bowl and say, oh, well, they're cheating and that's not fair, and I want somebody to come in and save me, and I want the RNC to come down and fix it. Let me just tell you, wham. I like the sound effect machine we got over there, but I'm like, that's essentially it. I mean, and my thing is, and I've said it, and you guys probably heard me say it too many times, nobody is coming to save us. There is one savior, right? And I don't think he is that concerned with these types of little things. He wants us to go work and do it ourselves, and we have to fight back. We have to organize better. We have to turn more numbers out, all that type of stuff. You are not going to win in defeating the rhinos or the Democrats or whatever you're battling. You're not going to win by getting 50% plus one. You got to go in there and hammer them. And as Trump talked about with the 2024 election, make it too big to rig. That is what reorg is about, making it too big to rig. If we show up with 75% of the people in support of what we're advocating for, we win. I don't care what they do. I don't care about Robert's rules. I don't care about, all in the sense that, oh, well, the Robert's rule says you're supposed to do this. They control the gavel they control the podium, and they will do what they want to do. We've seen that too many times at state conventions. But if we got 75% of the people in the audience, it is hard for 25% of the people to tell the 75%, no, we're going to do it this way, because they will have a riot on their hand if it's 3-1. So that's what our job is to do. And we have to build out our numbers bigger. We have to be more organized, and we have to get people to show up. Decisions are made by people that show up. And if we can't get our people to show up, maybe our position is not that important. So I think our position is pretty important. I think it's a winning position. We just got to get people to show up. But the same thing is, that's our battle with the rhinos. The same thing is our battle with the Democrats. So we have to get and prove to other people that what we believe and what our platform is better than what their platform is. So it shouldn't be that complicated. Killing babies should be a bad thing. Terry's going to. But killing babies is a bad thing. We should be able to have a good, we should be able to win that argument. If we can't win that argument, there's a way to win all these arguments. Look at what they literally have Americans hating America nowadays. And somehow that would have been, I would have thought, is a losing argument, but they have convinced certain people that, hating America and wanting to destroy what we have built here and our ancestors built and all those types of things, they've somehow manipulated that into the ether or into the fabric of what's going on. So we have to defeat it. So that's what our job is to do, and we have to fight it all the time. Oh, here's Miss Yoga.
Chair yoga, I'm old.
Is it chair yoga? I might sign up for chair yoga. Welcome.
Chase at least 3 people away from the chair.
I know.
Thank you,
He about stole it a second ago too.
I could have ran you over in the parking lot now. I have to get in shape. Jeff's wearing me out. Him and Olga. Trying to keep up with everything.
Well, Terry's trying to keep up because she's actually a national delegate, and she's hoping Trump is able to formulate a midterm convention in 26. So she's trying to get in shape to
all that walking.
all the walking. I'm okay just to go and hang out in the hotel. So that'll be what I do.
Not this time.
I don't know. Last time you were in Milwaukee. Last time I had just come out of the chemo and all that kind of stuff. So it was a big trip just flying up there. I didn't want to fly up there, but I flew up there and I stayed in the hotel. I love Embassy Suites. I got that free breakfast downstairs. It's really a lot of fun.
It was in heaven.
As long as I woke up early enough to take advantage of the free breakfast.
Down there for a free breakfast.
So we got a lot going on. Elections are coming up. We got the November 4th elections, general elections. That's all of our municipalities across the state. All of our fire districts, all of that type of stuff is there's some commissioners and public works and some things like that gets mixed in there. I think Olga has a list of all the Greenville elections. There's a whole litany list that even with that, I say add a disclaimer, because even if it comes from the state election commission, I think, every time I look and dig a little deeper, there's another election. There in my personal fire district, I didn't know about it. I knew every 2 years or 6-year terms, but every 2 years, one of the fire commissioners, one of the 3 fire commissioners come up. Well, apparently one of the fire commissioners had resigned early. And so there's another election on there for our fire district to fill the unexpired term of that individual. So it's kind of like, here's another one we didn't even know about. And it's like, they don't really want us to know about it. So, I mean, it's you got to keep in touch and on top of all these types of
So what district is that one in?
It's the Wade Hampton Fire
Hampton is,
District, which is right over here.
Okay.
So, but I think there's about 20 fire districts that are up.
Okay.
There's some that I think are in the even number years too, and there's some that are like appointed. It's I think there's 30 some odd fire districts in Greenville, and maybe 20 of them are up for election this time. And then there's other way they pick other fire districts is even different.
20 even.
20. Okay.
20.
On the ballot.
Yeah.
Okay.
And most of those you'll see are unopposed.
Right.
And I would add, I did this myself last month. Fire districts, just out of curiosity, if you haven't been to one, and if you live in a fire district, you're not in the city of Atlanta or city of Greenville. I always say city of Atlanta. City of Greenville, they have, a Greenville Fire Department. That's not, they don't elect fire commissioners for that, but all these independent fire districts out there, you ought to go. Every month they have a meeting. It's open to the public.
No,
Most
I'm in,
people-
I'm in like the city of Greer, but can I go to a?
Oh yeah, you can go. Yeah, you can go to any of them.
Okay.
Yes, yes. It's just like if I live in Spartanburg, or if I
Right,
wanted to go to
okay.
the Spartanburg County Council, it's open to the
Open
public.
to the
I can go
public, so,
see it.
okay, you don't
So
have
if
to be
you-
in that district.
Right, right.
Okay.
So if you want to go see it, it's something interesting, and they have them every month and that type of thing. Yes, Bob.
What is the purpose of participating in a fire district
Participating as
or voting in? Why would you care about the fire district?
because they can. Are you setting that up for a home run?
Yeah, I was gonna
Well,
say.
guess what? A fire district has taxing authority. And if you look on your tax bill, you will see a line item for your fire district. And you will see a lot of these fire districts are flush with cash.
Mhm, a
And if
lot.
you look around, you see there's a lot of people that are building nice, big, fancy fire departments.
Mhm.
And because what they can do is everybody wants to support fire, just like we all want to support the blue and all that type of stuff. So they have the ability to increase their millage rate and all that. We have not had until 2 years ago or a year and a half ago an increase in our county taxes because we have been able to satisfy everything with growth. But if you look on those fire districts, there's a legal maximum that they can increase every year, and then those fire districts have been increasing it. And then some go out and do some special assessments or special deals to build a new fire department, build big new nice fire buildings and all that kind of stuff. I've got no particular problem with some of that, but left unchecked, left unlooked at, it will grow, exponentially, and you got to be careful about it. So my personal fire department, the Wadeham Fire District has, we can all see it right down the street here. I mean, it's a nice new fancy building they built there. They have 2 other fire departments. I don't know if I've looked at where the other 2, one's on Pelham and one's somewhere else, maybe on east north further down. I don't know if those are new or old or whatnot, but that's why you would be interested in
I
it.
think the one on
So-
East North Street is one of the oldest of their buildings, but they've already approved the money to build a new building.
Right. So, I mean,
Right up, literally a block behind, not even a block behind it, like literally in the property right behind it.
and what was interesting with, and I'm, as a tax attorney, CPA kind of guy, I'm interested in this stuff too. The one that I went to just by happenstance, they had the CPA coming in that had done their audit and was presenting their audit. So for me, on the financial side, it was even more interesting because, most of these fire departments, they have about 12, 14, 18 months of cash on hand. So because, think about when they get their revenue in, they get their tax revenue will come in January, generally when everybody pays their taxes. Taxes here are due on January 15th. That's when they get the bulk of their revenue. So they have to plan for, well, I get it all in January, but I got to, spend it over the next 12 months. But then even probably in January, they probably got 12, 18 months worth of cash on hand there. You can manage it a little bit better, let that kind of bleed out a little bit, and only have 6 months on hand when your fiscal year ends. But most people don't want to take that risk, and especially if nobody's going to the meeting and even asking the question. So you got to go to the meetings and ask the question. But I think it's worth going to. I will tell you, if you wanted to speak, you have to fill out a form, which is kind of interesting. There's at least in the Greenville Fire Department district or whatnot, you have to fill out a form that you can turn in the hour before the meeting, up to 5 minutes before the meeting starts. So it's kind of interesting that way. They asked me. I mean, it was a friendly group. I was the only person from the outside that was there. They did ask me if I had any questions or whatever, and I think they would have let me speak had I wanted to. But it is in their rules. So I think if they have somebody that's belligerent or a pain, they can prevent them from speaking or asking questions if they want. So it's something I think you ought to go check out. I mean, it's just like with all of these things. Understand what it's about. If I was a high school civics teacher or politics teacher, I would take my class and have a field trip and go see these things, or subsets of the class. And you should see that. You should see how boards and commissions work. You should see how county council work. I mean, I literally went through law school and I never ever went to go see a trial or see a hearing. any of that stuff. I wasn't personally necessarily interested in it because I was a numbers, business side guy. But I mean, I just wasn't, the fact that I even could get through law school without going to something like that. How can a kid get through a politics class, or a civics class without ever going to a county council? The only thing I remember as a kid is probably 7th or 8th grade or 6th grade or whatever, doing a field trip down to the State House once or twice. All kids did that. But that was more of a day off of school as opposed to an
A learning
opportunity
experience.
to learn something. Yes, Ron.
The county tax assessor too will come out to the fire district. I went to one of those meetings in Tigerville, and they come out and explain how they assess your property and the taxes. And don't blame me for the taxes, that's the county. But they says that this is how it operates, and they get in real detail. It's really interesting. And then I got involved with the Cunningham Fire Department, and they wanted a maximum amount of millage. They wanted to go to the top that the limitation was. And they said, oh, we're not going to use it. We're not going to tax it all right now. But see, the idea is then they can go anytime they want to and raise it without your input.
Yeah.
So you got to fight against these taxes.
So Jeff,
Yes, ma'am.
okay, do the fire districts undermine and/or affect the millage rate?
For the
Do they
fire,
have lobbyists?
are you setting up a great question? too?
Did you have most planted
Holy
here?
cow! This has been the best planned out meeting I've ever attended. This is the way it should be. Very interesting. You should ask that.
The first 15 minutes
This is-
when we got here.
I know this is not. This actually is not a setup, but we should do it this way. At the meeting I was attended there, the lobbyist for Wade Hampton Fire District was there. His name is Taft Matney.
What?
Taft.
Is that for South Carolina?
No, he
It's not
is
like
hot.
that in Georgia.
He is hired by the fire district. Taft Matney, I went and looked up. He represents 3 or 4 or 5 different fire districts. He also represents the Greenville Chamber of Commerce, the State Policy Network, and we know him because we battled against him on school choice because he represents Ellen Weaver and their group and pushes the government run thing. So I mean, I was a taxpayer there, sitting paying Taft Matney to be there.
He's running for city council seat. in
There's a
Albany.
I was
the
saying-
bonus set up, yes, and
But
a
he's already on it, isn't he?
Taft.
He's suppo-
Taft is on Malden City
Is
Council.
he, or he's running for it?
He's on it,
On it.
And he's running
And
for
running
it
for
again.
running for reelection,
Just remember,
unopposed.
He's-
And he's a lobbyist.
Yes,
He's a
ma'am.
lobbyist and
Yes.
he's the city council.
Yeah.
Yes.
Nothing to see here, folks.
How is this not a conflict of interest?
Well,
Nothing to
again,
see.
there's multiple things here. I love the shock factor. Thank you both for setting that up. He understands the system. He worked his way into the system. He probably, first time he ran for office, he probably knew the political consultants who knew how to get him elected, and or it was unopposed and they just put his name on the ballot and he got in there. I don't know. I haven't done that research, but he is a lobbyist. But
And that's allowed?
it is allowed. Yes, ma'am.
Obviously.
Yeah.
It's allowed, and think about this in the respect, and this is the argument they would have, with term limits as well. It's up to the people to pick who they want to represent. Now, he
He's
doesn't,
the only one.
I understand. Nobody else ran against him.
Really?
We, on our side, with our candidate recruitment efforts, and we did have somebody who was interested
Yeah.
in running and then backed out on us last minute.
We don't have anybody now?
So backed out on us
Who
last.
was it, if you don't mind me asking?
I'd rather not throw the other name out there now. I mean, but
Yeah.
I don't know if it was totally him or somebody else talked him into waiting for a better opportunity or different opportunity. And I'm kind of like, are you kidding me? Because somebody told me that he had advised him to wait for this other race, which is
And
not
that
for
it
another
was-
3 years. And I'm like, you're killing me.
And that it would be hard to beat him, to beat that lobbyist, which it would not be easy necessarily, but if we don't challenge,
You get a couple
we
of
couldn't
our
even
people to
try,
go out
yeah.
there and probably make handmade signs saying, this dude's a lobbyist. Remember how we went, some folks made those signs that pointed to, oh, this person raised your taxes, this person raised your, stuck it next to Butch Kervin's sign and
that's hilarious.
all that stuff. Imagine just, we should have done a campaign where we just stick next to his sign, this guy's a lobbyist.
Yeah.
This guy's a lobbyist. So I don't mind if he wants to be a lobbyist and get paid for doing that, that's fine, but he also can't be a public servant and
Yeah.
get paid to do that and have inside deals. And I'm cutting deals on things I may or may not be doing involved in city council. If you help me out on this stuff that I need help with my lobbying clients or for my, he represents, I think he got paid like $23,500 from the Greenville Chamber of Commerce. I don't think they were working in our best interest.
Well,
I know for a fact he's not working in the kids' best interest on his school choice lobbying. Because I've sat in the meetings where, the Senate meetings, and it's like, why is he here? And then I go look it up, and it's like, oh, that's who he's getting paid
Well, if
by.
he's influencing our millage rate, then we wouldn't want that.
Well, I mean, what I can only imagine what advice he
But if
gives.
somebody needs a big
Wait,
engine, I mean, that's going to influence our millage rate.
Yes,
won't it?
yes, it will. Yes,
Mhm.
absolutely. A fire truck, I think, is $750,000 or $500,000.
Oh, yeah.
They're not cheap. Yes, guys.
That's bad.
It would be interesting to have a program for high school students to prepare reports as part of their classroom agenda to understand how the system works, because that's something that I think some high school students could really get their hands into and get excited about and learn things that most of us either don't take the time or don't know how to get involved in and learn about. So that would be a great project for civics programs to learn how these items, these fire districts, et cetera, work. That'd be a great project.
And come and report to us about it. That'd be
Yeah.
great. And since our fourth vice chair is sitting back there pretending he's not hearing because he's like,
Taking
oh, that sounds like a job I
Oh, he's
gotta do. He's writing notes. Maybe he's taking notes on what you're saying or just trying to. He is. He said he is trying. I think it's a great idea. I think that type of stuff. I think these kids ought to get extra credit for that. I think there's your army right there, and you find those people out there.
And there's also the Ohio, the state government class that they do where you learn how the government works at the state house level. I'm not sure what it's called. It's some kind of thing that you become like a delegate to as a high school kid.
Yes.
Do you know what
there's
I'm talking
boys.
about?
There's boy state. and
Something
girl
like
state.
that, yeah,
They
something
do.
like
They
that.
do like there is like some sort of
Yeah.
kids.
But you could do that at the high
legislature.
school level too.
Yeah. No, I fantastic. I don't know any school teachers that go past that at the high school level and stuff.
You know any high
But I'm
school
like,
teachers that would know anything about it?
Well, if somebody knows about it, please reach out to us, contact us, all that kind of stuff. But I mean, Dylan and those guys, they went to Wade Hampton. Wade Hampton's right down the street.
That's okay.
That's where I went. Yeah. Oh, be nice. I went there when they didn't have air conditions. The old days before they built the prison building is what it looks like now. So, but no, I mean, that's part of what we're trying to do to get organized in all these different things. It's as you know, and as we all know, there's 1,000 of these things. So,
And you could get their journalism class to report on that. There is a school newspaper at the high school level. I happen to have some familiarity with it. So it could happen. You could do that.
yes, I fully agree. There's a lot of things, but as you know, Bob, see a need, fill a need.
Yeah, I know.
I know. So that's what we're doing. And actually, one of the things I've been working on since I've kind of recuperated a little bit is building a binder of all of the things that we're doing. And even that binder, I probably need 5 of them, and it's like there's so many of these little projects. We actually have Olga she's been working on a task list for all the things. I'm pretty motivated, right? So you come out of some situation and you're like, I'm sitting here laying in bed just thinking all day or getting chemo, thinking about what do we do? How do we do this? How do we defeat the rhinos? So we've been working on like a task list and all kinds of, I don't know if I have it. Here's my table of contents for all the things that we're working on trying to get done and taken care of. Candidate recruitment is a big one, and candidate recruitment is a big deal. And we weren't doing a lot the last term because Joe Dill was on there, and they put who's the lady that ran against me? Julie Hershey. They weren't doing anything, and they didn't want to do anything. And the people, the candidates they were trying to get were to oppose what we were trying to do because they were all part of the splinters. But we're fixing that now with this term, and we're focusing obviously on federal and state house is one of the big ones, county council and the other things in the school boards. All 6 of our municipalities is going to be a main issue, the fire districts, and then candidate recruitment should also, encompass, the boards and commissions. All these boards and commissions. I mean, right now, Greenville's open until September 30th. Olga put it out there. There's a bunch of positions. We got to get people sitting on those
But if
things.
you're interested, look at the board, see when they meet, because you have to go to one of their meetings before you can.
Right.
Before you can be like.
You have to go to one of these meetings. So, and think about that. I mean, people will run for elected office and they've never been to a fire district meeting or never been to a legislative meeting or a subcommittee or committee meeting or even been to the state house. I was literally in a legislator's office that had won a special election, or maybe it was a regular election, but they had a meeting that they had to go to as a new elected House rep at the governor's office. The person walked out of the office, I got to run to this meeting, came back, and we were in there talking to some other people, came back in the office and said, "Where is the governor's office?" I was just like, oh Lord. I get it, I understand, but this was an elected official that did not know where the governor's office
And the
is.
funny thing was 3 or 4 of the boards, they meet the last week of the month.
Right.
So you only got like a few days after you go see it.
If you want to run.
Work in if you want to run.
Right. And
One never meets.
and there's a lot of boards that
I
never
don't know
meet.
about mine.
The tax board has
Next
never
board's
met.
never met.
We have not on it anymore.
I thought you still were, you know?
No.
Oh.
No, I was not reelected on it.
Oh, that's right.
That's
I forgot about
another
that. That was
very,
another
very,
thing.
very
Yes,
interesting
story,
thing.
yes.
People just don't like you, Jeff.
Well, imagine that. So,
I
but
don't know why.
but to the
The only person with actually a degree and experience, tax attorney.
Yeah.
And they put people that have literally 0 experience. That was interesting.
yeah, like her and him.
How do you know I'm not a CPA?
But that's the politics of it, and that's actually, and we haven't made. I've fully all the stuff. We have all the documentation that we haven't made a big stink about. I don't really care about me not getting real, but if I was objectively the most experienced person, I've been on the board. I'm the only person probably on the board.
Weren't you
that
the
actually-
only incumbent, or would you
May
have
have
the
been.
highest seniority?
I would certainly probably at this stage have had the highest seniority. I did it as a volunteer, I guess, when I lived in the city of Atlanta. I was on their Board of Tax Assessment and Appeals down there. We had a bunch of boards because obviously a bunch of houses, a bunch of property, and they actually paid us and did training. We got paid to go to a training class about how to do it and all that stuff. And why would a particular legislator or city council, county council person not vote to put me back on that board?
Didn't they vote for the Democrat?
They voted for some Democrats to put on that board as opposed to me. We know why, but yeah.
Because they wanted taxes raised.
Right. I understand why Joey Russo did not vote for me. Joey Russo did not vote for me because we censured him, for raising the taxes. And we are going to re-censure him for that tax raise because he was not up for re-election last year, but he's up for re-election next year. So he will be censured again. And so I understand why Joey didn't vote for me, but Joey is putting, and it was a couple of them. It was, Kelly Long did not. You know, I mean, I get why Dan Tripp wasn't there, but I get why Liz Seaman, we censored her too. I mean, I get it, but I'm like, there's a difference between campaigning and politicking and governance.
Right.
These people did not, I don't get any special power out of being or compensation. I mean, it's not paid anything out of being on the Board of Tax Assessment and
You
Appeals.
get that little notebook.
You do get
You get a notebook with a
you
bunch
do
of
get a
notes in
little
it.
notebook, little 3-ring binder
Yeah,
with
that's
all the members and the law and all this kind of stuff. We heard 2 appeals in 6 or 7 years that I was on it, and that was it. They don't even do appeals, very, very much. And we had no other meetings. But Joey and Kelly and Liz Seaman, they decided, well, we just don't like Jeff, so we're not going to put him on there, even if we got to vote for some Democrat citizen to be on there. And it's kind of like, that's part of your governance. If you can explain why you didn't put the only guy that had experience and was trained and all this type of stuff back on that board, and you didn't have a good reason, like, he's been out there screwing some stuff up. We had 2 appeals, which we ruled for the city or for the county of both of those appeals because the appeals were so insane. It was, we couldn't rule any other way.
But you're an object of change. You
Right.
wanted to change things. They like things just status quo. They don't want any
Yeah.
waves in the, and you were coming in saying, I'm gonna change things. I'm gonna do this.
Well, I was wanting us to have annual meetings, and actually one of the 2 Democrats that's on the board was on the Board of Tax Assessment, on the county council, was a member of the Board of Tax Assessment and Appeals when I was on it. I'd forgotten it. He came and introduced, and we talked to whatnot. He's a nice enough guy, but he's like, yeah, we never had any meetings. We never did anything. We were supposed to at least talk, and I think by state law, you have to have a meeting once a year,
Yeah,
just
good,
to
whatever the
formulate
bylaws
it,
say.
just to, they did nothing. They literally did nothing. And even my wanting to do stuff wasn't like, I want to go in there and just create havoc and do anything. But it's just,
No, I thought it was a very positive message, but what I didn't have, I think they just looked at it and said, we don't want to change anything.
that's some of that.
It's not a problem, Mary. We just.
Since we're talking about it, why don't you add to it how there were not even enough people to apply?
Well,
and you go through that because that's even more interesting.
it gets a little, and we need to document it up. But actually, the initial meeting to replace those people was before the new county council members came on there, and or maybe it was after the elections, but before the new folks were sworn in. But we had the meeting to have it, and there weren't enough people that showed up to fill the positions. So there was like 6 positions, say. And there's like 3 of us that even showed up. So we would have automatically been elected on there.
And they did interviews.
We did the interview. We did, did the whole thing. And then
So, and
Liz
even-
Seaman made the motion that, why don't we postpone this until we can get more people, so we can fill all the spots, not just fill these 3 spots and then fill the other 3 the next time. She was like, why don't we just postpone the whole thing? She obviously trying to keep me off of it. It was just whatever. And so they postponed the whole thing. Guess who was out there trying to recruit more people to come? Ennis Fant. Ennis Fant was all over social media saying, we need more people to come. He was having people. That's how the Democrats showed up. So when we actually went back, and we had recruited some more people, Ron was probably one of them in the
Right.
second round and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, and he got appointed and all that, and I'll tell you how he got appointed. 'Cause this is a little bit of advice. Yeah, yes. When you do go do your interview, wear your veterans hat.
I didn't make a point of it.
he wore his veterans hat. He gave his
I gotta serve
story.
my country.
I'm like, this guy's Captain America. I would vote for him. I mean, he was great. He did a great job. And so I'm complaining about them picking the Democrats over me versus you. But so she postponed it, and then that, obviously coordinating with Ennis to get more people there, to get more Democrats on it. Now it's not a fear because they're not a taxing authority. They do impact the appeals, but as I'll tell you, the reasoning why the Board of Tax Assessment and Appeals does not have a bunch of appeals that they actually hear is because, and I asked the lady and she's now retired, but I asked the lady who was running the program 5 or 6 years ago. I said, why don't we ever have any appeals? I said, we have these things all the time in Atlanta. It's just like, it's like, I didn't know if I wanted to be on it. There were so many appeals we were having here. They were, three board panels, and there were tons of them. And she said, and let me clarify this, because this is back before we got involved here, and I was on the board of the Greenville Tea Party. There was 3 of us on our advisory committee, including Bob and Presley. So the 3 of us were on there. She tells me, she goes, well, in the old days, and this is 10 years ago, 6 years ago, she goes, in the old days, there were all these Tea Party people that got on the Board of Tax Assessment and Appeals, and they would always rule in favor of the taxpayer.
Well, duh.
Yeah, seriously.
So she said we end up solving all of the complaints or appeals at the lower level before it gets up to you guys. So that's why it was. So I started advising everybody, if you have an issue with your tax assessment, appeal it. Because I said they will settle with you before they will ever come to us. The 2 appeals that we did here were so egregiously insane. The other side, or the people that work down there, there was just no way they could settle. That's why we ruled in favor of the county, because the appeals, they were like, it's $1 million piece of property. They want it for $100,000. I'm like, okay, we can't go that far.
The importance of appealing is that if you can get your taxes lowered, because they go around and choose the highest price properties around you
Yep.
and compare yours to that, and says, well, yours should be higher. Well, you can do the same thing. You go out,
Pick the lowest price.
get the lowest, and make your appeal on that. And they don't want all that exposed.
No, well, they don't base it on, when they do the assessment on your property, they don't base it on, like you say, they don't base it on a like structure. They always pick the bigger ones. So they levy a higher tax on everybody that way.
Yeah, and my only beef, I appreciate all the folks that moved down here from California, from New York, and all that kind of stuff. It's great because they get involved and they want to fight the system, and and they don't care. They're not into, I got to be prim and proper like some of the Southern people, us Southern people feel like we have to be. But what I have seen, even with good people, is they're like, these taxes, I paid $20,000 a year up in Jersey or New York, and this is only $2,500. They're like, that's okay. It only went up $100 or $200. Well, it's $100 or $200 here, another $100. I said, it's eventually going to get back up to $20,000. I mean, our taxes in Atlanta were like astronomical, so.
And the issue is compounding too.
Yes, that's kind of my point.
Interest
Yes.
is compound taxing.
Yes.
If you can get it lowered and they raise the taxes on everybody, guess what? Yours doesn't go up as much.
Correct.
And now I have neighbors who I asked, they should make an appeal. When I did, I made an appeal.
Yep.
And I got mine lowered. Their taxes are much higher now.
Yep.
And they're saying, why am I paying so much more? Because I appealed mine, got it lowered. And every time they raise it, it's compounding on my lower rate, not your higher
Correct.
rate.
Yeah. So if everybody goes up 10%, at least you've been fighting it for
Yeah.
a decade or 2 or 3, and you're coming at 10% from a much lower level
Lower
than your neighbors. Yeah. No, it's simple financial planning, and it's appeal. You got to fight it every time. But that's everything we have to deal with. We have to fight everything constantly. Otherwise, you'll turn around one day and you'll be like, holy cow, how did I get here? So that's what we're.
Watch for the
doing.
next market crash, then make your appeal to lower your taxes. But when the housing market comes down, you appeal.
Or I just write on there, since the house is in her now, I was like, my wife is a hoarder, and if you want to come here, you think that she's a hoarder and she's got cats.
She's a cat lady.
She's a cat lady.
Crazy cat
You
lady.
can't sell this place for nothing.
You better move on to the next topic.
Next topic, we're going to start earlier on our pro-life committee update, because they got a meeting with a county council person and got scheduled. So let us have it.
Okay, follow up on last week, there was a question about parking places for expected mothers. It's a draft, it's not an official bill yet, it's a draft. Micah Caskey from Lexington has sponsored it. Let's see, big one, On October 1st, Cash's bill S-323 is going to be up for review at 9:30 a.m., room 105 at the Crescent Building.
So October 1st on a Monday, did you say?
Yes.
October 1st, a Monday, at the State House in the Gressett Building. That's the building where the Senate is. It's on the first floor, room 101. It's where we've done some of the medical freedom hearings. 105, I'm sorry, 105. But it is on the first floor
Yes, on Wednesday.
on a Wednesday.
Wednesday, yeah.
Wednesday, October 1st.
And it's really important, when McCravy's bill came up on March 4th, there was 33 pro-aborts giving testimony. There was only 7 pro-lifers giving testimony, and 3 of those pro-lifers got there in my car. So this county represented just short of 50% of the entire pro-life movement at McCravy's bill.
Wow.
So we want to get those numbers up big time.
Okay. Let's talk about that. How, if you want, what we can do, just kind of like what we did with the hearing they did in the Senate on Curtis Loftus, we could just actually play it, broadcast it, add commentary as it kind of goes through and help explain people what a Senate hearing is like. If you want, you're probably going to be down there.
Yes.
So you could be our person down there reporting, our roving reporter, if you wanted, down there. And that's what we had with Kurt. We had some people texting us information, updating us, and telling us, because in all honesty, a lot of things that are very interesting, you can watch them online and see it, and that's great. And I love that piece of the transparency. But quite often, what's most important is what's going on behind the cameras. Who's there? What lobbyists are there? All that kind of stuff. Who you see the legislator or House or Senate member speaking to, in the hall before they come in. Who are they being nice to? Who are they thumbing their nose at? That type of stuff. It's just, if we want to, because I think people want to understand these Senate hearings a little bit more, and I think that's one that might be of interest.
The general public will be at 9:30 in the afternoon. They're going to have professional testimony being given, which is going to be a little bit different than March 4th, because they had a lot of OBGYNs giving testimony.
Of course.
In the general hearings.
Supposedly experts.
Okay, as you alluded to, at 1 p.m., which is why I'm going to have to leave early, but at 1 p.m., the meeting I was supposed to have Wednesday with Frank Farmer is going to happen today. And it's going to be with the county attorney. We're going to talk about the home rule.
So it's with Frank Farmer, county council member, and the attorney for Greenville County?
It's going to be the attorney and Frank Farmer.
Okay, good.
At least
Very
that's what I've been led to believe. My big question is, why can't we blue law abortion in this county, just like many counties blue law alcohol? Even though the state allows it, counties have the right. It's really going to come down to the home rule. I printed up the actual act here, and it's very vague. Basically, it just says each county has the right to exercise such other powers as may be authorized for counties by the general law. That's as close as I can get to an actual. That's as close in this entire packet that I can find. I've also printed up the 2 handbooks, but I haven't had a chance to review them yet. But that's kind of my big question is going to be is why can't we do this in this county? And I want some specific answers on what the home rule says or doesn't say, or what his professional opinion as an attorney is.
Yeah, and just so, there's a lot of variance on what people think about the abortion issue and all that kind of stuff. To me, we don't fight hard enough. The left fights judicially with laws and all this type of stuff. To me, this is, wherever you fall out on it, this is an experiment of what we can do and push the envelope to figure out what legislators can actually do. Most of these county councilmen, they're not going to want to touch it with a 10-foot pole. But I'm like, why are they not doing it? Why do you campaign on being super pro-life, but then you don't do anything when you're in elected office? Stop campaigning on it if that's not what you're about. But you're appealing to people, and we see it, and my issue is because of the school choice side. They all campaign on school choice. Oh, I'm all about school choice, but then when they get in there, they don't do anything. And I'm like, you can literally campaign on school choice, and we have the nation's worst rated school choice program, and you're not going to do anything about it. You literally campaign on being pro-life, blah, blah, blah. Then you get in there, and it's not this way anymore, but we were an abortion destination state.
Right.
Fix it.
And the sad thing is, this county is officially pro-life. Chapter 10 of the county policies and ordinances. Basically says we're pro-life, however, we have to do what the state does. Well, this was written in 94 when Roe versus Wade was still in effect, therefore the county had no choice but to defer to federal and state requirements. But now that Roe's been overturned with the Dobbs decision, so why are we, if we're pro-life county, how come we're still having abortions here? And that's the question I have.
These are just valid questions to ask,
Yeah.
as opposed to just going through, oh, we got 10 Republicans and 2 Democrats on county council. We don't want to talk about this issue.
Granted, it's a policy, technically it's a policy, not an ordinance, but they don't even have to vote on it. It's already in the books. This already exists in the books. It's not something new we have to come up with. For Mark Lynch's talk coming up in October, I've provided him with a list of talking points. I believe you.
And when are y'all doing that? October?
20th. It'll be the
20th.
week after your quarterly meeting. I believe I've copied you and Frank Gunther on the talking points, and I provided about 5 minutes worth of information for each talking point, so he can catch up with that.
Okay. And I know y'all have the bigger issue, but what we're focusing on and what we're going to hopefully on the 13th, the week before you, is this resolution against the abortion pills. So I hope that's in your talking points or questions. Everybody should agree with this, but we'll see.
Yeah. Well, with Mark Lynch, he's going for the federal level. This is for the state county level.
True, that's true.
So,
But there are some federal regulations in this.
well, the Comstock Act would help us tremendously.
Yeah.
As a senator, he would have opportunities to be on oversight committees where the FBI is involved. Pose the question, why
aren't you investigating
why
these
aren't you
crimes?
backing up South Carolina, Louisiana, Texas, and some other states and defending their sovereignty by preventing these pills from coming across their state lines via the mail? And again, it's a law that's already on the books. We don't have to create anything. We just have to enforce what we got.
Right, which is my beef about stuff. People politicking on one thing and then not doing it. And then there's laws that exist that have already been passed and litigated and discussed, and nobody's enforcing the violations of the law. So I get it if there's a law that you can't tie your horse up to a fence post or a post in front of the state house, which I think there actually is a law. Nobody's doing that. If somebody did, I mean, I get not enforcing those things, but this is a big issue. Why can you pick and choose what you want to enforce?
Our sovereignty is at stake with this.
Right.
Because there's people that are bragging about violating our laws because they think we're oppressing our own citizens rather than giving us the right to using democratically elected representatives determine our own fate. I did send the same list to Sherry Biggs that I sent to Mark Lynch via Will Watkins. That was a benefit from meeting him last week. Today, really good news today, Linda Kirkpatrick from Anderson Republican Party contacted me. She said she's interested in setting up a pro-life committee there. I worked late. I woke up and that text was on my phone.
She asked for your contact and Carrie's, so yes.
Excellent.
I'm glad.
So, yeah,
Linda's good, so.
Yeah, it's really good news because I had actually written Anderson off as a potential contact. They're one of the many counties I've reached out to 3 times and never got an answer back.
Oh.
So for them to reach out to me, that was doubly good news. Right now, she sent me an email. Apparently, what they're big on right now is the whole adoption. They're looking at trying to reduce abortions through adoption. And so I'll be delighted to talk to her about that. We just had some experts a couple of weeks ago give a talk about adoption at our educational outreach this month, or last month. Yeah, last month, I'm sorry. Let's see. As you already alluded to, I created a resolution for the GCRP.
It's not in the right format. It doesn't have the logo on there and stuff, but you got the words. We'll work on it.
All I could find were PDFs.
Yes.
All I saw were PDFs, and I wasn't looking at it PDFs.
I'm all about the visuality, and then we work on the words. It's easy.
Okay.
We're great.
For people who are experienced with setting up at the Hughes Main Library, I'd like like to get in touch with them real quick on how to set up, because that's,
She's sitting next to you.
I'm sitting.
awesome. I will be getting in touch with
Okay,
you, just so I get an idea of what's required to get it set up.
okay, I'll even give you the contact name.
Excellent. I mean, I have points of contact with the library. I'm talking about as far as volunteers, how many people do I need to get there?
Oh, okay,
How long will it take to set up?
okay, I can help you with all
It's
that.
easy.
And I'm also looking for volunteers to help set up. And on a final note, a couple
And you
days.
should maybe do whatever you're talking about there in conjunction with Linda Kirkpatrick and those guys out of Anderson. I mean, Linda comes over here, so it's not like it's
Yeah,
a million miles away.
Matter of fact, I moved over there quite a bit. And then on a final note, I got notified a couple days ago that my dad's health is failing dramatically. So I'm already working with Carrie and a couple other people so that if I have to disappear suddenly, these
Where's
things.
your father live?
Illinois.
Okay.
So, but I'm working with Carrie and some other people getting things set up, so if I have to disappear suddenly, that the show will still go on.
We have bandwidth and pray for your father, so.
Thank you. That's all I have.
That's it?
Yes.
Short and sweet. All right, get to your meeting. And I'm glad the lawyer is gonna be there because
Yeah.
they're the ones. So,
They're the ones that are paying.
I've never heard anyone say that before.
My lawyer was gonna be there.
Unless you're a divorce.
they normally, it's interesting. Okay, what's next? Ron, do you want to talk about
Yeah.
our Constitution classes? If you want to come
Yeah,
up here and
come over
sit,
here.
so you're closer to the microphone.
So you're not so far away.
Yeah, because I can't hear you when I'm watching.
We're trying to work on the volume stuff, so speak loudly into the, here, right in
Get
there.
Get up.
And Ron, you used to, in college, you had your own radio show.
I did.
Really?
I had the ear, I
Right.
did the whole thing. Yeah.
Because you did good on
Can you
Bill
speak without earphones? Or you?
I'll try, but I'd rather have a mic in the back of the room. Or at least a speaker or something.
Just because you spoke, just because you sat in the back of the room in college and high school, we're putting you up front.
I'm okay. I'm kind of excited about this Constitution class coming. We have more interest in all going on and more support than we ever had in any of our classes. And the American Legion down there has been so helpful. I just want to make that clear. These veterans are really great. They're really great. And because September the 17th is National Constitution Day, and we start on the 20th, they're going to make a special, we're working on a color guard, making a very official thing. And I think every veteran should bring their grandkid, really, to this,
To the class?
to the first one, at least to the first one.
Okay.
It's going to be something really nice. And we're going to, if you come early, I think the doors open about 9 o'clock.
So this on
Class.
Saturday, September
On
20th.
20th.
We're doing a 6-week constitutional live class at American Legion Post 3 downtown.
Got it.
It's the old granite building. Don't mind interrupting.
No, go on. I'm going to cover it, but you speak more clearly than I
We
do.
can cover it double time.
Yeah.
But it'll be a 6-week class. It starts at 10 to 11:30.
Right.
The doors will probably open at 9:30. I think somebody's down there about 8 or 8:30 or something. But you guys will be down there at 9:30.
Yeah, we'll be open 9:30. We'd like you to come early because we're going to have coffee and Danish things to just warm up the crowd a little bit, visit with other vets and tell your war stories or whatever you want to do. And there'll be other videos too. So it's going to be a full program.
So where do we?
But it is a Saturday, and we recognize that it's a football issue. So we're going to get you out on time. You can still make it to your football, and there's plenty of parking down there.
Yes.
But I think it's exciting,
Yeah.
and it will look to all you vets. And if you're not a vet, bring a vet. Just bring a vet with you, and you can come too.
But anybody can come.
Anybody can sign up.
It's kind of designed for vets because we're doing, partnership, or at the location of the American Legion and stuff like that. Ron's a vet, so he didn't know.
And if you
That's how he
do,
got elected on the tax board.
yeah. And if you do sign up, you don't have to worry about missing. You can't miss because they'll send you something to keep you up to date.
Okay.
And so,
So if you miss a class, you can make the
Yeah.
website. 'Cause mainly the class is y'all facilitated, do a video with the guys from Patriot Academy who do it very professional.
and they do it as standalone. Each class stands on its own. So if you miss one, the next time it won't matter because they're going to fit it in.
And I think one of the things we're gonna check into is some of the classes they do online too. So we're gonna see if we can do the live version and online, or maybe we'll just do live this time and maybe next time see if we can do the.
Do Zoom in too.
So just to get people the opportunity, because I did notice the other folks that were out of Central, out of Pickens. Did you speak? Did they call?
I didn't call, but I did not.
Okay, we gotta call them back. So that's, we're behind on that.
I've helped put on numerous classes at churches, different opportunities. The idea is just to take this information and take it to your family. Just tell your grandkids and your family about this. But you got to get the knowledge in first. And I think this is so important to our country right now. We have representatives sitting on our council right now, don't know the Constitution. And we've had councilmen, Stan was one, came down, he's taken the whole course.
It almost ought to be a prerequisite. It's something, you know, if you want to run for office, one of the prerequisites, this is constitutional law, they have the biblical citizenship, some other classes, but you ought to take one of these classes. And I'm as guilty as everybody else. You know, I was the Republican who just voted for whoever had the most signs. You know, I voted, I thought that was my civic duty, but the same thing with the Constitution. I went to law school. I took one of the main classes, you know, the basic classes you take your first year of law school. One of them was constitutional law. So I took 3 hours in the first semester, 3 hours in the second semester with all my other classmates. I did not know what the Constitution really is about and what it was designed to protect and all those things that we all talk about all the time.
Limited government.
Limited government. I did not know that until I got involved in this side of the Constitution and politics. They taught us how to read cases and why certain things have developed in a certain way.
Case precedent.
Case precedent, all that kind of stuff. But what the Constitution is really about, what the founding fathers wrote the Constitution to protect. I mean, they did not teach you that in law school.
Which law school did you go to?
Yeah, the lawyers aren't taught this.
Which law school did you go
It
to?
don't matter. They're all the same.
University of South Carolina.
Just asking.
They're all the
Which one
same.
did you go to?
Another one.
A Yankee one?
Huh?
A Yankee one?
Well, yeah.
There's
I
one,
wouldn't admit it either.
there's one last thing I'd like to say. I have yet to have any classes that we put on that people didn't come back for another class.
Yes.
Once you start it, you can't, it's addictive because you realize, I didn't know that.
There's always something to learn, and I've taken several of them or whatnot, but I'm like, there's always something extra to learn. And I'm not the guy that memorizes, what is the 13th or the 15th or the 22nd or what? Dylan, he can tell you, if I give him a number, he'll tell you what it is. 18,
Well, these classes are not boring, Jeff.
prohibition.
Yeah.
18 was prohibition? When did we get rid of that?
30.
Okay.
These-
What number got rid of it?
That one was 21.
21, okay. See, he knows the number.
Our
I know we
vice
had
chair.
prohibition,
I
we
know.
got rid of it, I can't tell you what number. Or what
Okay,
year.
so to recap, it's September the 20th, 10 o'clock,
10 o'clock,
and it's a 6-week program?
6 weeks.
6 weeks, okay.
That's one of the
6
shortest
Saturdays in a
ones.
row.
And it's on the screen and it's on greenvillegop.com. We're only promoting it to encourage more people. It's not Greenville GOP class.
Yes, not one of our
It's-
events. It's for-
It's through a nonprofit, but we're helping to spread the word.
I'm gonna be there.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Would I be able to view it remotely for 6 weeks? Because I won't be here. I've been back to New York for a while.
Well, let us see if we can, that's a
Yeah, I
good
Feel
reason
bad
to
for you.
push us
I gotta
into being
get- I
able to
can't be
do
found.
it.
If you get registered, they will send you a link of the class you missed. If you're not there for it.
Okay.
So
You
you
won't
go
get
back.
the food and Ron's.
Yeah.
Can't send it
You'll
up.
get the video.
Send it up there. I
You're
understand.
gonna miss the best part, you know, the fellowship.
So by signing up, they'll give me a link to.
They'll send you a link
Okay.
and you just push on that button. If
I'll
you
be able
push
to
a button,
view
you
it
take the
on my
class.
laptop. Okay,
And
great.
whatever you missed, you'll have it there. You can see it online.
Great, thank you.
So I would recommend doing that and just watch it online. We'll figure out if we do anything with Ron actually introducing the video, if we can do that too. But if you do that, and then when we do another one of these, come to the live.
Absolutely.
Just.
A lot of the leadership here has taken this class already.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, they have taken it, some of them twice.
Some of them need to take it twice.
Yeah.
Jeff needs to take it
Well,
one
I've
more
taken
time.
it a dozen times.
Jeff needs to take it again.
Some people fail the first time. I would literally tease them and say, I failed the first time.
I think the
No
difference
way.
of this versus some of the other Constitution classes are, this is not boring. It's not a studious thing where questions and answers. You got a workbook if you want one, but it moves so fast and it's so lively, you don't have time to take the notes. Do that later. You can revisit it. You can listen to them again. So.
And what I think about the beauty of it, because the American Legion Post downtown, it's on Main Street and it's
You still ain't got it yet.
Assembly, not Assembly, it's Main Street and Academy. It's being torn down later this year, or at the beginning of next
Next
year.
year.
know.
Yeah.
They sold that property, they want to build
They build high
high
rise.
rises down there.
Oh,
Yeah.
More high rises.
Oh,
Yeah,
my
they need
God.
more.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a beautiful.
And so they're gonna take some of that granite to the new location and build some walls and some stuff like that.
But isn't the
they're-
new location bigger and?
I think it should be bigger, it's all on one floor for them and all that stuff, so they said there's some pros to it in that respect. It's actually moving
Near
it.
the cemetery?
Hmm?
In the cemetery?
Cemetery's behind it, yes, but they took their location, that municipal court that was next door, they've already moved out of the municipal court. And then I guess the parking lot and all that stuff behind them in that corner, right next to the cemetery. That's where they're gonna
That's a
somehow
small
put,
footprint.
it's a very
I know.
small footprint, and that's
Yes.
what architects do, I guess, nowadays. They make a buck, so.
Yep.
Yeah,
So
I
that
love the
always
building.
seemed to
That's what
go.
happens when you want to put 300 people in a square foot.
But that,
Just stack them on top of each other.
But it's the opportunity, as Ron was saying, after the class, you can go upstairs, because on Saturday, I think the library, I'm sorry, the museum
Museum
is
is
up
open,
from 10
yeah.
to 4.
And that's free.
Yeah.
They did mention, they says, you can say it's free because it is free, but they do like donations. They
Yeah.
do like donations if you go through. But it is nice to see. And they were talking about, we're gonna take the cannons with us and all that. They're gonna set that up again. And we just don't know how to set them. I said, well, point them towards the county council building. Maybe we have a, 20 gun salute.
The Golden Palace?
Wake them up. Wake them up in the morning.
Golden Palace, as we call it. But they're moving to the, over by the municipal airport, to the old Blind Horse Saloon.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So, I've never been to the Blind
I
Horse
haven't either.
Saloon. I assume it's closed.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think
it's closed.
Is-
It closed last year.
is that what it is? So that's what they're moving to, so. But they did say it'd be nice because everything will be on one level and all that stuff. So I think they have half the building, and the
Oh,
other
wow.
half, they have right of first refusal on who actually moves in there or something like that. So I don't know how it, I haven't seen the numbers on whether they're buying the building or what they're doing, but that's where they're moving to, so.
Well, thank you for the time.
We need
Thank
we
you.
need to get
Thank you
those
for your
old
service.
howitzers operational again.
Now, who gets the mic?
Terry?
Oh, I
Your
do?
turn? I
Is it
think
my
it's
turn?
Terry's turn.
What am I
We're
supposed to
gonna
talk
talk
about?
events. What events do we have coming up, other than the Constitutional Live,
Constitution
which
class?
starts 6 weeks, starting September 20th. And do we have the link to sign up for it yet?
For what?
For
For the Constitution
Live?
class?
Yes, it's on the website.
It's on the website. The link is on there. Is that the link that just goes straight to Patriot Academy or comes to us?
No, greenvillegop.com/events. You go there, you click on Constitution class, and there are details and links to go to their registration.
The registration for Patriots
And
Academy.
I'll contact information.
Yes, Al Brilliant is doing it with you, so it's the two of you
Okay,
guys.
just two of you. Okay.
So, and Al's he's a EC for,
No, Al is president
President.
of one of the Molden precincts.
Yes,
I
okay.
don't remember which one, two I think.
But with a name like Brilliant, you really want to
It's
go.
brilliant.
Brilliant,
It's not brilliant, it's brilliant.
brilliant.
Really?
Really?
There's not
Close
a
enough.
second I
I
there.
thought it was brilliant too. Okay.
I think it's brilliant.
No,
That's what I've always. If there's
What
any
is it?
question at all, call me and I'll give you. the-
Just don't leave him his phone number.
It's BRILLANT.
Brilliant.
Brilliant.
Brilliant, not
Probably
brilliant.
because the
Brilliant.
domain name was.
It's my southern accent. I can't help it.
I know, it's that southern accent of
Foreigner
yours.
have to teach you.
She
I
was
know,
like
you're gonna have to
showing-
teach us.
It is the day after her birthday, so we can
That's right.
use one more day.
One more day. Okay.
All right.
Okay, so I guess the next event after that,
What other things do we have on there? So
Well,
for her.
not to steal Terry's.
Thunder.
thunder,
Okay, go
but
ahead.
There is one event next week that Frank may want to talk about.
Oh, okay, well, come on.
Come speak up, because we need you into the mic.
Microphone.
People couldn't hear you
Because
before.
seriously, at home, we can't hear you guys way in the back.
Okay, this Thursday,
Sit.
Be here 10 seconds. Thursday, we have the legislative meeting. It's Thursday at 7 here. I guess last meeting, we was promised we were going to do dinner at 6, but that's canceled. That's going to be postponed till the following month because the executive chef is a little busy.
His wife is the executive chef, the boss and the executive chef.
Yeah, so this Thursday at 7 o'clock, a lot of you are already on the committee, and there's invitation to, if anybody else wants to get involved in legislation, municipal issues out there, please come to the meeting. Got lots of work to do.
Yeah, and we're gonna have our kind of top 5, maybe top 10 or whatever, our legislative issues with the state house, but also we're working on some for local too.
State, local, federal, and we got people reporting out and what they're working on. Right to life, for example, judicial reform, closed primaries, and we're working on resolutions for the next business meeting.
Right. So what our idea is, we're gonna get it out to everybody, hopefully 2 weeks before the next business meeting, the next quarterly business meeting for the GCRP. That'll be on Monday, October 13th, back down at the Hughes Main Library. So we'll have it that evening, and we'll get these resolutions out to you 2 weeks in advance, so you can read them, ask any questions, all that kind of
We
stuff.
got first drafts on three of the resolutions, and Jeff owes me one.
Right. Got 6 or something, but yeah.
That's what we got so far right now.
So, but what we want to do is have the EC body empower these guys on the legislative side to use that and say, hey, we're here because our body is voted for these types of things, and that's what we want to do. So we want to answer all those questions for the executive committee, discuss these issues, at least bring some attention to it. We thought about on the pro-life side, we were like, which part of the pro-life do we kind of go after? But I think one of the big discussion items now are the abortion bills being mailed. And I think that needs to be addressed and looked at in the enforcement side of it. So that's what we're going to do on the pro-life and judicial, all that good stuff.
We're keeping them simple and focused so we can hold people to their feet to the fire, get them to commit to something.
Got time.
So my idea is that each one of these, should not be controversial. It should pass in full. That's why we're going to keep them simple. People can find a reason, I don't like that word, or you should do more whereases, or that. We want to keep it real simple. We can have attachments with other information about it, but we want to keep it real simple. And go out there and so, and I want people to learn and see, hey, if we push some of this stuff, if we actually write some of the legislation and some of those things, and the good people that ran for office to make a better state and better for our citizens and the kids and all that kind of stuff, if they don't do it, it might wake some people up. And why are they these people? Why would you run for office and then you don't want to do the job? So, other than, I just want to get reelected and I don't want to upset anybody, or somebody's paying me to do it this way or that way. So that's my personal beef that we're dealing with Pamela Vett right now is, she ran for office to be able to do certain things. And
She ain't done nothing.
she hadn't done anything generally, and most people know that generally. I happen to know the specific of the school choice issue, which she refuses to address and deal with. And her campaign people are sending this snappy text message. I'm like, you really think this is helping your candidate's case?
What do you think she's getting all her money for this advertising?
I don't know exactly where. C. Dan Adams and those guys, is chair of her PAC or whatnot. So I think when she said, I raised $1 million or $500,000 or whatever it was in the first 24 hours when she announced her candidacy, that was all lined up, kind of thing. The PAC that is behind her is allegedly committed $5 million. I don't know if they'll actually come through with that. I think what's going on, and this is all public, it's out there because you can track the ad campaigns they buy. And I'm seeing more of her stuff come out, but she's spending $1 million over the next month, and she seems to be pushing it on football games.
Yeah.
She's on all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, all the time.
Yeah. And where are you seeing her stuff? Because we
WFBC.
On football or just generally?
General.
Generally, so she's
I don't turn TV on much, but every
Well-
time I turn it on, she's on.
apparently the million, and
They say they're just
you have
for
to
you.
check and verify this, but apparently the million she's spending, $500,000 of it is up here in the Greenville area.
This is Nancy.
No, this
No.
is the Pamela Vet.
Family.
Yeah, Pamela Vet is at the bottom of the barrel,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
She's,
well,
she's-
above Josh Kimbrell.
Yeah,
Everybody's
Cranberry
above.
was the only one below her.
Right, but she was like at 6% or something like that. And I think what my guess of what she's trying to do is throw $1 million at it to see if she can become relevant, get higher numbers by the end of September, go into October. And when they do the reporting, the next quarterly financial reports come out probably middle of October 15th. If her numbers look half decent and she's moved her polling numbers up, maybe she can, breathe some more life into her campaign. Because, she's on life support otherwise. If she wasn't spending this money, but you wouldn't want it. A normal candidate wouldn't spend that kind of money this early.
I know it.
It's desperation. That's why she put the hit piece out on Nancy Mace the other day. It's desperation. It may work, but it's the desperation that whoever's backing her, given that $1 million to throw out there, they're desperate to get her in there, which should scare us even more.
Well,
So-
if she was with McMaster, that's enough to kill her,
right.
Good
Well, the
God.
sad thing about it is if you ask the average person who our lieutenant governor is,
Yeah, they don't
they have
know.
no clue.
That's right.
And
That could be another reason she's throwing all these things out.
but she hasn't done anything.
She hasn't done
And
anything.
that's
yeah.
my thing. And I
Yeah.
told her people, and I've told her, I'm like, if she had just picked up our issue, doing right by K through 12 children with special needs, I'm like, it saves taxpayers money. It works to the minute. She wouldn't touch it with a 10-foot pole because she wanted to ingratiate herself to the moneyed special interests. See Dad Adams, and he's pushing the government-run school choice too. So that you ought to ask, where did they get the money to put into the campaign? It's one thing to know who it is, but also how are they doing it, and just follow that money trail. And I'll be more than happy to help
Well, she's
with
got
that.
one thing that Trump's endorsing.
No, he's not.
Well, it must be AI then, because it sounds like Trump. Trump is actually endorsing.
No, he hasn't endorsed her. She's playing
He's
clips.
playing with her.
He's playing clips
Yeah,
of
but he
when
hasn't
he was
endorsed her.
speaking here back when he was running
Yeah.
for office. And they're taking stuff and just pulling little nitpicks out and saying, yeah, he's saying good things then because he was running for office.
Well, there's enough people that are so dumb.
But
they don't know the difference.
they don't know the difference because they don't know that politicians handpick
Yeah.
what they want people to hear all the time.
The Trump people I know who, there's people that were Trump people, which I consider us, kind of from the beginning and all of it. But and then there's people that glob on, oh, I'm from Trump too. Nate Lloyd. Anti-Trump, never Trumper.
Right.
Trump was number 16 on his list, in 2024 until it was, and he worked down every single candidate until he got there. That's a different class of people. But I think there's and I think the word will get back to Trump and all that stuff. But Trump's going to pick whoever he thinks he's looking for winners, and he's looking for people with the money and all that kind of stuff. I think the people that are running Pamela Vett's campaign are the bigwigs, but she's not their only campaign. They're doing a whole bunch of them across the country. But I think the guy, whoever the main guy is, moved down here from New York or something to Charleston. So,
we moved to Charleston, even worse.
Yeah.
it's, there's,
Isn't her husband involved in some kind of fraudulent activity at his?
is that another setup? Are you setting that up too?
Wow.
No.
You really did feed
all
everybody,
your
didn't
questions
you?
are great. No, that did come out, in Fitz News wrote an article about it. Apparently, before they were married, but I think they were all together. What's more interesting is almost the admission and or discussion about the marital affair that they apparently had, when they came together and how all that turned out. But apparently he signed over some documents that he essentially did admit to embezzling funds.
Right.
And I don't know if the numbers were very big or whatever, but he was taking money and using it for his own personal expenses and true embezzlement. So I don't think he was prosecuted or ever went, that type
He had
of
a
stuff.
slap on the wrist for him.
Right. Well, he probably paid them
Paid
back,
back, and
but they probably said, "Oh, you got to sign this admission of guilt," and it's a pretty strong admission of guilt that he signed and agreed to. So I mean, it is what it is. But now, I mean, it's out there, and it kind of brings into question a lot of things, that are out there with her business acumen and all that kind of stuff.
Who is
So.
Dan Adams? I don't know.
His name is C. Dan Adams. He has the Capital Corp. If you know, over there back behind the Hilton and on 385, it says Capital Corp on it. I think there's some sort of I don't know if it's a hedge fund or private equity investing firm or something like that. There's some articles I've seen about him from the old days that those types of folks make pretty good money doing that type of stuff. No, he's not a financial planner, more of an investment on the investment side. So, but probably higher risk type stuff. But I'm like, there was a bank that went bad, belly up here in Greenville, probably back in 2007, 2008. That I saw an article where he cost him $80 million or something like that. There's probably. We really ought to look into who C. Dan Adams is.
Mhm.
He's on the board of Palmetto Promise Institute.
Oh,
He's tied in with Ellen Weaver and Jim DeMint. That's he. If you look on campaign disclosures, you'll see he's donating money to people all over the place, either him or one of his companies and that type of stuff. He's been. It's funny because he was like working with or on the board of Palmetto Promise and allegedly pushing school choice. But then I look at, there's a group here in Greenville called PEP, Public Education Partners Greenville, and he's sponsoring and paying for their stuff. I can assure you, I know the PEP people are not in favor of private school choice. They literally advocate and oppose what we're doing.
Animal people?
PEP.
No,
PEP, Public Education Partners,
Oh,
PEP.
Well, that explains.
Yes, well, and that's they only want public education, so they're liberals and Democrats and all that kind of stuff. And I'm kind of, I'm like, why is C. Dan Adams paying them money and sponsoring some of their stuff on their websites and studies and other websites for them? But he won't talk to us. I've reached out to the guy. He
There
won't talk
says
to us.
Capital Corporation is serving, advocating for middle market companies to achieve their financial objectives.
So they raise money from middle market companies. I mean, they're probably a middle market business. I don't know what the range would be, but they're out there probably helping them raise capital, find investors, so they can expand and grow their business. So they're looking for people. They know a bunch of people over here that have money. They know they go out and find companies that need investors, and then they work the deal. So, on behalf of the investors. So, it's.
What about the company that had it founded?
I think she's.
Yes.
Tried
Didn't
business from because of all the DEIs.
Yes, and it was funny when she first got involved in 2018 when Henry McMaster picked her.
Mhm.
It was always everybody said, "Oh, she has $1 billion company," like she was a billionaire. They had a company that had $1 billion of revenue, not business revenue. They did $1 billion worth of payroll. So if you made $1 million and I did your payroll, that doesn't mean I make $1 million. It doesn't mean I have $1 million of revenue. I just do your pay. You make $1 million a year. I do your payroll for $50 or $200 a year. I think somebody got confused on what kind of net worth she actually had. So I don't know, because she came up to me at one point in time and she goes, they want me to donate, or put this kind of money. That's a lot of money. And I'm like,
If you got that kind of money, that's chump change.
Yeah, really.
but they thought she was, let's pick somebody from the upstate, Republican rich, voters, Henry's people, and might have a lot of money that could put into the campaign. Trump had just been elected in 2016. I don't know how much she allegedly she sold the company. I don't know how much she sold it for. Could have been for a bunch. Could have been for 5 or 10 million. It could have been.
But she does have $1 million for these ads.
Somebody has $1 million.
That's from.
But that's from donors. And
Donors.
that's from people like the C. Dan Adams and those guys. And because she is owned by those people, I mean, she is 1,000% a rhino. I mean, it's out there. I don't think anybody debates that she's a rhino. She's not. I mean, she talks about Trump. She's been smart enough to keep her mouth shut, not do anything stupid. But she's the lieutenant governor for Henry McMaster. Henry McMaster was the first statewide elected official to endorse Trump. Trump is a loyal guy. He has done whatever Henry's kind of ever wanted or asked, including putting Nikki Haley as a UN ambassador so Henry could move from lieutenant governor up to governor. And that was for 2 years to finish out that term. And then he's been reelected twice. He will be the longest serving governor in South Carolina history because he served for 10 years. We used to have a term limit of 4 years. Then we went to 8. He's now been in there 10 because he had part of Nikki's thing. So, but I'm like, she's owned by the money. And the money that she went against us was the school choice money. She would not meet and or talk to us about school choice because you can't talk to us and then say, oh, I don't agree with that. I think it's better for the government to run the program. Nobody can say that. But now she can say, oh, I don't really understand it. Jeff's just mean. And he just, I don't want to talk to him. That's our whole issue. Don't trust people that won't talk to you. They refuse to sit down and talk.
This middle management's $5 million to $100 million.
Yes, it's probably a revenue or network. Yeah. So.
And Adams is the president and CEO.
Correct. Yeah. And he dabbles in politics, and he probably dabbles in politics because it either helps out the middle market businesses that his people are investing in, and so he probably has you normally would have a stable of people that have invested with you before that you would then bring new deals to. And he probably goes to those people and say, hey, these are political folks that we ought to support as well. They do that a lot. You can hire people that do fundraising for you that just have a Rolodex of folks. You just go out there and call and say, hey, this is the type of candidate we want. And they'll be able to help us out later on. And just, even if the person's never met the candidate before. I got that report from somebody. I don't want to say the particular candidate or who it came from, but it was somebody that had donated to the candidate, and they later on, because they were told that, oh, this is who we're backing, you need to donate to this person. Later on, they met the candidate, and they're like, this person doesn't have any clue of what they're doing. Now that'll, maybe it's a one-off, the person who brought those donors in can excuse it, or maybe it's like, why are you bringing me these types of candidates that don't know what the hell they're doing? You'd be better off in that respect for the Democrats. So, in their minds. Because in their minds, and a lot of times you'll see them donating on both sides. And I've seen C. Dan Adams donating on the other side. And he's certainly not a Trump person, but I think if we look it up on the FEC side, Federal Election Campaign side, I think he donated maybe $500,000 or close to $1 million to Trump. But he donated to Trump after it was for sure that Trump was in. So that's been I hate to say my beef, but I thought it was quite interesting that the guy that's doing SC Doge, he was a supporter of DeSantis. And then his whole big thing, his claim to fame is I donated, $1 million to Trump. It's like $950 or something, plus some other stuff that gets him over $1 million. But the $950 was in one big check. The $950 was the day after Nikki dropped out of the race. Not earlier, not before South Carolina actually took their vote, not after South Carolina. He waited till after, Super Tuesday, which I think was a week or 2 weeks after, South Carolina voted. And then when Nikki announced she was out the next day, that's when he did. And I actually asked him about it because I'm just, I'm like, he's like, how do you know that? I'm like, it's on the FEC.gov website, but they're doing all kinds of AI and they're pulling stuff from all over the place. But you don't know that I can go look up on the FEC.gov website and see when you donated your $950,000 to Donald Trump. So don't tell me you're a Donald Trump person if we've never even heard of you.
And you donated last.
And you donated when it was a for sure deal. That's not a donation. That's called an investment. And you're looking for a return. So,
Okay, on to events, right?
yes, sorry.
Okay, no, because it's 10 till 1.
Let's finish it up.
Okay, so of course, the next event will be October the 13th, which is our business meeting at Hughes Library downtown. The next one is December 1st, will be our Christmas party. It will be located again downtown Greer, but it will not be in the city hall. It will be in the building next to it, the Cannon Center. It does hold a few more people because Spartanburg is going to go in with us, their GOP, with it being their first Christmas party. They did come to ours last year, and they asked if we could do it again together. The next one is December 7th. We will be in the Greer Christmas Parade. More detail to come about that. So between now and the last week of November, we'll be asking for candy donation. I'll need candy donation because we pass out candy. We cannot throw candy, but we can pass it out. They're afraid kids might run out in the street, so we have to pass it out. So I'll need walkers. If anybody is interested to be a walker, this will be the third year we've done it.
Mm-hmm.
We have a blast. Last year was
It's a lot of fun.
It's
Yeah,
a lot
really
of
is a
fun.
lot of fun.
I mean, Greer's small, but it's still. And if anyone is interested in wherever you're living, if you want to check into your event, your parade, give the information, give it to me. You know, we're trying to get to all the parades. A lot of them around the same time, so that might be a little bit of difficulty. But Greer's is in the afternoon. I think it's at 2:30. I think we line up at 1:00, and the parade actually starts at 2:30. This year, the theme is the 12 Days of Christmas. We'll have 2 vehicles in it. Of course, Jeff will be in one. He wants to be out of a sunroof.
I'm thinking
Last year, Yvonne was on the back of the Mercedes, but Jeff wants to stick out of the sunroof of the Mercedes.
I think I'm actually going to ask Tommy if he can build something like from the Egyptian times where people can like carry. They can be carried.
Okay, well, I will not be a walker on that one.
No.
Egyptian.
That's not a thing. It's the 12 Days of
The
Christmas.
candy she's asking for is really for me.
No.
So you can throw it into the sunroof.
We cannot throw.
That's no fun.
I know. There's a $500 fine if you get caught throwing.
No, but if you want, I can take my truck and have a big trailer behind it.
Oh, we could do that.
Well,
Do you
Well,
have a trailer?
it can't look like Santa Claus though, because there's only one Santa Claus in the parade.
if someone wants, all I'm going to say that we will have to start working on it like
Now
soon.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of work.
it is.
We will just need people to work.
That's
Before
another
we
thing.
had Keith's Mercedes,
Right.
which was great for Vaughn to sit on the back of, and then Bernie's big SUV, Sequoia. But we could do 2 trucks
Yeah, we
with
don't.
somewhere people could ride and
In the back.
be
Yeah, I
more
nearly killed
comfortable.
you in the back of our truck
Yeah.
that one year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
it's an option. Do you have a trailer?
Yeah, we have a long trailer. Well, Dave does, but he'll
I'll have to
let
get the
you
exact length because when I do the form,
know. Right.
they're cracking down on
I
that.
mean,
I think
it's
because other
not
people.
long, but it's
Yeah.
long.
I think so. They know how to
It's
space the.
Yeah, I
the
think it's
people.
at least 15 foot.
Okay.
As long as it's secure and safe for
Yeah,
people.
and safe. Yeah.
It's
And
easier to
children are
ride,
welcome.
sit there and ride versus
Right.
walking.
Okay.
So it can get a long way.
That's another thing. With the events coming up with Christmas and the parade, if anyone is interested in helping out with the events, please contact me. All the information's on the website, my information to let me know. Because this year for the Christmas party, we'd like to have a setup committee and then a takedown committee because it's hard for the same people to do all of it. It's a long night. Because Greer decorates a little bit, but we normally bring our own decorations in and stuff like that. And it's hard work. And I'm getting old.
And we may, this is new to you, but since we're all kind of we may see if we can do an events committee meeting next week.
Yes, that's fine. No, because I've been trying to get
Right,
one, but if
right.
something's come up every time.
So maybe Monday or Tuesday night. Tuesday
I
night.
won't be here. I'll be here Tuesday.
Okay, maybe Tuesday evening we'll probably do it.
Okay, sounds good. Yeah, if anyone's interested,
Yep.
sounds great. Because I've been trying to do one for 2 months now,
Yep.
and somebody else always gets my meeting time, so that'd be great.
So
Let's put it on the calendar.
Yes,
Okay.
we'll do Tuesday and events. What time will you like doing it?
I like them earlier than the legislative committee. I like them about 6.
6 p.m.
Yeah, because I like to get in and out.
Why not? But it's
I mean-
what other people can make it to.
Well, Chris, you're on the committee. Would the 6 work for you?
Yeah, that's fine, yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
Whatever your committee wants. So we'll do an events committee next Tuesday at 6 p.m.
Okay.
That's the 9th?
I think so. I've got to go to my calendar. Let's see.
Yes, ma'am.
The 9th. Thank you.
It's perfect.
All right. That's another thing off my list to do.
We'll put an agenda together, and what we're trying to do is build a manual for this and a calendar of events for really the next 2 years. So we can kind of get on a regular rolling schedule with all this kind of stuff,
Mhm.
especially with like the gala and all that kind
Yeah,
of stuff.
because there's so much going on.
Right. And before you know it, time ticks away and then it's like, oh, we got this thing next week, so it's
Yeah.
too much. So,
Like
and I
the
think what we
library.
are thinking about doing is doing the gala on a regular basis on
yeah.
President's Day weekend.
Oh,
President's Day
okay.
or President's Day weekend.
All right.
So,
I like
because that was really easy for us last year with the Piedmont Club.
No.
Poinsett
Club.
Poinsett Club.
Piedmont Club.
Well, Piedmont.
That's the one in Spartanburg.
No.
No, it's downtown here. Poinsett Club.
No, the
Poinsett.
Poinsett Club's downtown. Yeah.
There's one in Spartanburg too.
Yeah. Well, the gala was at the.
And I was probably thinking of the Piedmont Club in Piedmont Park in Atlanta. So
You're really stuck on Atlanta today, aren't you?
I think I'm coming down with this Alzheimer's. Thing. I can remember everything from the long time ago.
Oh,
It's
wow.
something my chemo doctors did wrong.
Okay.
It was part of that
Smack it back
lobotomy
in the
thing.
head, occasionally knock it back loose.
Somebody took the 15 years I've been with her out of my memory. The abuse.
Oh, please.
Chris.
Okay.
I sneak one in on Chris every once in a while.
All right. That's all I have.
That's it.
That's it. Yeah.
And reorg, we're planning reorg.
Well,
dates
yeah, we are
already.
working on reorg. Oh, that's right.
2027.
2027. Again, I'll be out of town. I'll have to drive in that day.
You'll be
Of
out of town for
2027?
a year.
You already know your schedule in March of 2027?
When it comes to my scrapbook retreats, yes.
March 1st of 2027, you have a scrapbook retreat?
Yes. It's always at the Preston.
Wow. All right.
I'm not going to be dead by then, but I hope not. Yeah, because the place we go, they book up fast. So I'll thank goodness
Where'd
it's
you
not
go?
far. Just Georgia,
Oh.
Livonia, so it's just an hour away.
All right. And
So
just to
I'll come
remind
back.
everybody, we're going to do reorg on Monday, March 1st, 2027. Put it on your schedule. Makeup date.
Oh, it's a Monday?
We'll need some data. Makeup date is going to be on Saturday, March 6th,
I'll be
2027.
in town then. Maybe I'll just come to make
And
up.
then we're going to leave flexibility for whenever we can plan the convention in the month of March.
We're gonna start working on
I'm
that
sorry, in
too.
April, but hopefully that'll be early.
Mhm.
Hopefully that'll be at a large facility that won't charge us what the TD Convention Center costs.
An arm and a leg, and that's with
Correct.
a discount. And if anyone's interested in that, feel free to come to that too. Sign up for a volunteer for that. That is a lot of work, the convention. Woo.
Yes, and we were there in the morning and
We
the
were there
afternoon.
from 7:30 that till 11 o'clock that night. Doesn't mean you have to be
Are
there
we
that
gonna-
long.
Are we gonna do the, oh, thank you. Are we?
No, I mean, whoever's doing the
Are we
committee.
doing the convention center again?
Oh, well, hopefully.
Hopefully not. It's
Not.
very
Yeah.
expensive. So if we can find some
Another
place that we can
location.
use
Yeah,
that's
that would be great.
big enough,
Yeah. 'Cause they were not very helpful to us there.
no,
They really want.
No.
it was very expensive. I don't know what the final cost was up for that place.
Too much.
12,000, 15,000.
I was thinking 16,000, but it might have, no, it was under 15,000.
What are the size requirements?
Well, last year we wanted a place for 2,500
I think
people.
we shoot for
We had
Aim
Steve-
for that.
Steve Bannon last year.
2,500 is what we shoot for.
It's whatever
2,500.
number of delegates we have to.
Yeah, that depends on the delegates we have
Is
to
the
have.
school a possibility or not? Too small or?
I think
Schools-
the
the
schools.
schools are too small.
And you'd have to get a high school. because-
College
Oh, I thought
schools?
that's the high school.
College may be okay. The
But you have to remember, it has to be in Greenville County,
Timmons Arena was being
under
renovated
construction at the time.
last year, so that's why we couldn't do
Do
there.
it there.
I've looked at it, they can hold 2,500 to 6,500 in
Easy.
the Timmons Arena, so
Be
that
perfect.
may be
Yeah.
a good location.
Yeah, so,
So it's a little bit inconvenient for people coming from the southern part of the county
Yeah,
to
that's
get
right.
over there,
On the fringe
but,
of
yeah.
the north.
I mean, ideally, the TD Convention Center is the perfect
good,
place because geographically, right there,
In the middle of
it's in the middle of the county and it's easy access with 385 and getting on Pleasantburg and all that stuff. That's why they built the convention center there in the first place.
places.
Um,
Greenville Tech is too small, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, their auditorium ain't very big.
So there's probably,
And Greenville Tech's kind of strange.
Funny.
But they are, because I've tried to use them for
They don't
rentals for
like getting
our
involved in
business
political.
meetings and their rules and regulations. It's like, oh my God.
they're not very helpful,
They're
We used to
not
use them
helpful at
years
all.
ago, lots.
really.
No, well,
And we can go back and ask
Ask
that. Part of
again.
what we'll do on the events committee is we
Yes.
want to have a list of facilities that we can use that are friendly and actually make contact with the right people there and find out why they're being very difficult.
yeah.
But, we'll need a space and we'll go check, Greenville, Tech, and, you can't get them to call you back. They don't, I'm like, so I want to proactively, way in advance of needing stuff, start asking these people. That's why I'm doing the big push on the convention. I want to have something nailed down, in the next 6 months,
Yeah,
right? And there's
awesome.
our third vice chair talking about it because she definitely wants it all nailed down.
Oh, yeah.
But I'm like, Bob Jones, again,
Not your
geographically,
Bob
which would be
Bobblehead.
Yeah,
centered,
Bob Jones would be good.
Bob Jones would be great.
they probably have 2 or 3, maybe 3 facilities over there that would be big enough to hold us. You can't get a call back. There's the old issues of dealing with, the political stuff, but it's like,
We ought to revisit that.
we can't, and we have time, and we
Yeah,
don't
we
have
have
to say, oh, we need to know next week, or, whether you're going to let us use.
Because
your
they'd be
facility.
perfect.
Yeah.
We got plenty.
Right. And back to
Yeah.
385 and Poinsett Highway,
Right.
that is the dead center for Greenville County. And it's measured out. I've had people
Perfect.
that built that stuff.
Yeah, no, we've tried. Like Jeff said, we've tried.
Or we even push the other thing, because it is in the law that if it's a facility that gets state government funding or government funding, it says state or just
Oh,
government.
state.
Maybe it's state. It's a state law. Then if we have to use it for our reorg, it's free. It should be free.
We
we
make it
We're
hard
going
to
to
get.
revisit that one too.
maybe they
That
can.
might make it hard to get.
Well, I
Yeah.
know, and I know, but I'm like, we're not having a convention like we're having a scrapbooking convention to, make for profit.
Had to throw you under the bus.
Or the
Drove right
homeschooling
over it 2
convention,
times.
or the whatever conventions they do over there.
I know.
But they're charging us rates like we're a for-profit little organization when
We're raking in the money.
Shrine Club too small?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think it is.
Just also, legislative committee next Thursday, pay attention to your calendars, what day that is again.
What day is next Thursday?
September 11th.
September 11th.
Oh.
24th anniversary of
Oh,
9/11.
yeah.
So there will be a lot of events going
Going
on.
on that
With
day.
the fire departments around town doing the stairs.
Yeah, they're doing the
So-
stair thing.
So if you're interested in going
Really?
out there and just supporting them, then do that.
Can I just mention something?
Yes, sir.
9/11 ought to be a national
Should be.
I
holiday.
agree.
It ought to be the day we all celebrate
Of remembrance.
a day of
The day of
remembrance and celebration of the courageous activities of all these people that gave their lives.
Yeah.
Should be a national holiday. And I bet we know who would have the power to make that happen.
Yeah, Jeff, work on it.
I don't think he's not talking about me. Talking about somebody else people are deranged about.
Now,
rather than
yeah,
not
with
me.
initials.
Like that, he could make it happen.
Yes, I think it. You know what? I wouldn't be shocked.
Seriously.
It wouldn't be hard to talk him into it.
No,
Uh-uh.
Do we have connections with him?
Yeah.
right.
Jeff's got him on speed dial.
I'm glad y'all think that.
Seriously.
This is the
Jeff-
joke I get. I get a
Jeff's
lot
got
of
him on
credit for
speed dial.
things I don't deserve, and I get a lot of blame for things I don't deserve.
Do we not have connections with him?
Yeah, Jeff's got him on speed dial.
Well, next year's the 25th anniversary. That would be a good way to commemorate the 25th
Yes,
anniversary.
and maybe that's on his list.
It might be.
I am a firm believer that they have a list of things
I
they
think,
work.
yeah.
They can't do it all day
Right.
one, and I think they've got it spread out over the 4 years. And I would, since you're saying 25th, I hadn't thought about it, but that
This
would
is
be
also like the
almost ideal.
250th
50th
year of the
Yes,
country.
of our freedom,
250.
yeah.
It's
Oh, that's
big deal.
serendipity, isn't it?
You're right.
And he's planning a big deal for July 4th
Yeah.
in Washington.
But 9/11, we ought to have a day.
Yeah.
We
And
ought
our
to
thing,
announce it.
our thing is going to be, our stuff next year is going to be 250. Our Christmas
Yeah.
party is 250 theme. And then we'll extend it all through the year because I think that's going to be an
think
exciting
so.
time. And that's where we'll focus even on our membership recruitment and all that stuff, the 250 and all that kind of stuff. So I think it's, and then we'll just roll right into reorg of 2027 and it's going to be great. Rock Hill's going to be full of delegates. And
That's right, man. That's a long drive from Rock Hill, I'll tell you.
Rock Hill precinct.
Yeah.
We had to clarify that in our zone meeting. I'm from Rock Hill.
Yeah.
Like,
What?
Rock Hill precinct. It is funny because it's really funny. So, and the other thing, just to mention one of the legislative, since we kind of brought it up with Taft, Mattney, and all that stuff with the fire stations, one of the initiatives is going to be about getting rid of taxpayer-funded lobbying.
Yeah.
We should not be paying
No.
people to lobby for more money with taxpayer dollars. And it's funny because even David Pascoe talked about, I don't know if it was at the presentation he gave, but we're all supportive, like with fire and the blue and all, our solicitors and their judge system and all that type of stuff. But he was told, and we gave part of the presentation, that he was told, oh, you don't understand how it works here at the Capitol building, and you need to go hire, a lobbyist to do it. And here's the name of my girlfriend who's the lobbyist, or who's having an affair with, because that is, and I'll mention that in 2 seconds, but we'll end on that. But that's and he's like, I'm the solicitor of my judicial circuit. I know what we need. I will come down there, as opposed to, but they're sitting there saying, hey, hire my friend, and then you'll do that. Now, what our battle has been on school choice, and here's one of the rumors that is out there, that there's a particular lobbyist who is a former Democrat House member who has affairs with people, and I think we're seeing it with the Matt Lieber thing and all that kind of stuff. And why I'm saying it and bringing it back up, because yesterday I actually saw a comment about an interview that Joe White did, where Joe White, House Rep out of Newberry, actually talked about it. So I got to go find it, look it up, see if he's willing to put that stuff out there on the record, because that's what's going on down there. It is like high school children at the State House, and people are hooking up. I mean, literally, you think it's so bad. I mean, it's so bad. Who was the House Rep out of Horry County, Myrtle Beach? They literally got divorced, and he married another House Rep. Oh, that is what it was. Yes, the wife of a House Rep out of Horry County divorced him and married another one of the House Reps.
Wow.
And that House Rep decided to not be a House Rep anymore, and now he's a lobbyist.
For a public institution.
In Greenville.
So he is now paid. So he was a House Rep, now getting paid by the government to lobby the government for more money for the institution he works for.
Well, they know how to work the system, don't they?
They do. So
They really do.
anybody else got something fun? Austin, your birthday's on September 14th. I think that's the same day as my sister's birthday.
I heard coming over here this morning that Clemson sold $467,000 worth of whiskey Saturday night at the football game.
And that was only 12 drinks.
What was it, whiskey? I thought it was beer.
So that's going to be a source of revenue for the Tigers.
Yeah.
That's a lot. That's a lot.
167,000.
I don't mind making money and all that. I have
Are we
an
getting
issue.
tax money on that?
I don't know. They didn't elaborate. They just said whether that was gross or net or what, I don't know. But they were saying they was going to buy a lot of seats and a lot of this and that and that. For 6 games, if they do that.
Yeah.
There's a lot of money in athletics. I hate to see athletics take away from academics.
Yeah.
And that's part of the problem. People go to college because they want to go to football games as opposed to I want to go learn a trade or educate myself. So
Not where I went to school.
yes.
OH.
Went to Ohio? Oh, law school too?
No,
All right, we ready to adjourn? Do we have a motion to adjourn?
I second.
All right,
And please
Since
don't
that's non-debatable.
cake or cupcakes because Jeff will have to eat it if you don't eat it.
yes, do not touch the frosting.
Is that your favorite part?
I want a slice of that cake, the top slice.
In the top.
That's right.
No.
That's a beautiful cake. Thank you for all this
That
Tommy's
was
cake.
sweet.
All right, we'll see everybody next week.
Everybody get a sugar high real
How
quick.
does he get to say what happened to your case?